The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like their match?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to a Monday post-selection Sunday edition of the Bostonian versus the Book. Dave Sharapan, Matt Perrault with you live on our YouTube channel and on Twitter X at Boston versus the Book. Replayed on Sirius XM channel 159 and on Sports Grid TV each and every night, 6 nights a week. Guys, get us late night on Sports Grid. We have Zade, Hussein coming on here in a couple of moments. We'll break down brackets, picks, and plays. But how are you, my friend? We did our selection special show last night. We will try not to be too redundant, but how are you in this Monday?
Good. Tired. They didn't get in last night till midnight. Made a bad decision to have Taco Bell on the way home. Still paying for it. It's not good, but we're here trying to keep it all together. Good to see everybody. I'll be right back. I got to shut these blinds because clouds just rolled in and it's changing the camera. Hold on. I'll be right back.
All right, Dave, what's up that? For those of you who are asking, you were with us last night. I was hurting badly last night. I'm feeling much better today. Thank you for asking. Drugs and other things help out. They've got these like very interesting nerve numbing pads you can go and buy and put on your back. So I put one of those on this morning. I'm on 800 milligrams of Motrin, ibuprofen. So doing well. Made a stupid decision. David made a bad call yesterday. I did too. I did a workout that I hadn't done in a long time, and I completely threw my back out to the point where I was having a tough time breathing on our selection show last night. So feel much better. Thank you for you guys who sent DMs and questions and asked if you could do something, or different people offering different advices. Somebody, I haven't tried it. A doctor said there's this arthritis cream, the Volorec or something like that. Yeah, it's like ibuprofen in a bottle, in a cream. So it's normally for hand arthritis, but you can put it on your back. It does the same thing that this pad's doing. It just basically numbs all the nerve endings, which is what happens when your back is contracting and going all crazy with back spasms. That's what my back is doing. That's what the pain is from. It's not really the injury as much as it's the back trying to protect itself and nerve endings and whatnot. So stupid move by me yesterday. I paid for it, but hopefully things are going to be okay with it.
Nikki came in the chat, said, Dave, make sure you wipe. Nikki, the problem is I can't go. That's the problem. I need some inducement here. My back is backed up for all the wrong reasons.
That's what it's called.
WV punch drunk, Voltaren.
Voltaren. Yeah. So I got that. And, here we go with that. Thank you, Blue Spader. I appreciate that. Yes, we're feeling better. So I've been upgraded. Yes. Dave asked me yesterday what percentage I would be at. I said 30. I'd probably be at like 60, 65 today.
Okay.
Yeah, I can walk today. I put on jeans today. I'm going to go teach today.
Oh.
So I'm mobile, which is much more than I was yesterday. I couldn't basically go up and down the stairs yesterday. I couldn't do anything. I was in a lot of pain trying to suffer through that.
And on your back the rest of the night after the show.
All day yesterday was on my back. On my back most of the day. So yeah, it was that bad. So Zade's going to be on here in a couple of minutes. Guys, remember, if there's anything we don't get to today, because there's a lot going on in the sports world, if you want us to address a game topic or something along those likes, super chats are available during bonus time. We'll get to it after we say goodbye to Sports Grid about an hour and 40 minutes into the show. So if those are available, if you're on YouTube, that is, left-hand corner, little tiny $sign, click that, hammer away, and ask the question, and we'll get to it coming up during bonus time. It is a big time, okay, of announcements. We told you about this on Friday. Now we're telling you about this here today. The BVB bracket contest is up right now. It is a pick'em contest, okay? So just be clear as to what we're saying here. I'll put the graphic up in a second. We're going to pick games every single round. So say you're someone who loves Tennessee, and Tennessee gets beat by St. Patrick, right? See you later, right? You're like, oh my gosh, how did that happen? How in the world did they, St. Peter's, sorry. How did St. Peter's beat Tennessee, right? Well, you wouldn't be out of our bracket pool. You'd be out of one pick. That's it. Because in the next round, you could pick against St. Peter or whoever else you want to go ahead and pick against. Every round is its own round. 1 point for every correct selection you guys are going to make. So if you want to be a part of this, it's $25, up to 3 entries per person, per email address. This is the map as to where you can play this. All right. Yes, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Arizona, Nevada. Sorry. Okay. But you cross state lines and you could get right into this. All right. So it's a prize pool that if we fill it up, we need to have 500 entries. If we fill the whole thing up, you guys will be playing for a first place prize of over $2,000. Pays out for the top 50. We will customize a BVB championship hat for the winner of this event. So not only do you get a chance to win, a couple of dimes, you'll get a personalized, customizable BVB hat that Dave and I will make and send to you directly for winning this thing. To log on, it is splashsports.com/BVB. Splashsports.com/BVB. Yes, I know everyone is doing these things, but come play ours, be a part of it, and pick up potentially a very cool amount of money and a hat for us here with that. Contest open right now, splashsports.com/BVB. One more announcement. It is BVB weekend week. Live shows Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
Coming quickly. Resorts World. If you need questions to be answered, if you need us to get involved in some form or fashion to help you figure out where to stay, how to stay, where to come, my DMs are open. At Boston versus the Book DMs are open. We know a bunch of you are going to be here. We've been loving it by saying, guys, I'm coming up. Guys, I'll be there. We can't wait to see everybody coming up on Thursday. And hopefully my back is good and I can lug some stuff around and help get set.
I got that wagon.
We got to get that wagon.
I have it.
Yeah, we got to get that wagon. That's important. Literally.
We got to get that piece of paper that says we could go. That's the most important thing we got to do.
Yeah, well, he just sent you a text right now.
Oh, good.
So
right.
you just got a text from the guy. So
perfect. Let's go. That's good.
So
we get that. I'm going to go deliver that myself.
Yeah. So
that happen.
We'll be good on all of that. So is it Kendall's wagon?
Kendall's wagon. No, it's that like it's not the Red Flyer wagon. It's the transport wagon that we use to and from the fields for
do you know
years.
Jason Kelsey's wife's name is your 2 daughters' first 2 names?
Really?
Kylie Kelsey?
That's beautiful. But she doesn't spell it the same.
No, I don't think so. I don't think hers is probably because Jason Kelsey is not spelled the same way, right?
No, Kelce.
So that's what, yeah. So
it's close. Yeah.
So there you go. The paddy wagon. No, we don't like the paddy wagon. We don't want no one near the paddy wagon. No,
what did that say? No. Is Jay Dow coming? He's not coming, is he? He's not.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Jay Dow has been to the event before, the one we did last year in the summer, that we'll hopefully end up doing again for the Brigade Proxy Service. You guys can reach out there and hit them with the stinger. Just wake some people up. I need woken up. You got the stinger handy?
You need woken up? What?
Yeah. That's
good.
What? There it is. Perfect. That was good. Now that was great, actually. You get ready for it, but you still don't know when you're going to hit the button. That was good. Yeah. So it's 702-570-8255. Text the hat orders.
Sydney is not coming, CBW.
Sydney's not coming.
Sydney's not coming.
Not over to Resorts World.
But, I think she left, by the way. I don't think she's at Stadium Swim anymore.
I don't think so.
I think she left. But
it's a tough grind. I mean, she was getting multiple degrees and, doing all kinds of things. She had she had 2 undergraduate, 2 masters.
She got into a really bad car accident actually last week. She got T-boned pretty good. Bad. And I'm not being like sarcastic. I'm being serious. She got really hurt. So I saw it on social media. She got really cracked up. Somebody hit her hard.
Oh no.
Totaled her car. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She had her whole left side of her body was like one big bruise. It was pretty bad. It's like, damn. It wasn't good.
Good.
Okay, so Zade's here. We'll get to him in just 1 second. Let's talk about obviously what happened this weekend. We know what the top 4 seeds are here. UConn getting a very tough draw out of this. We discussed this a bit last night, but we'll put it up on the screen now. The East region is UConn, Iowa State, Illinois, Auburn. The West is North Carolina, Arizona, Baylor, Alabama. Houston, Marquette, Kentucky, Duke take the South top 4 seeds, and the Midwest is Purdue, Tennessee, Creighton, and Kansas. After marinating on it for 24 hours, Dave, or less than 12 hours, whatever it's been, do you still believe that UConn got a bum deal with their draw?
I don't know. When you look at the other brackets, which one could they have been in? It would have been better. I don't know.
I mean, the Midwest is a cakewalk for Purdue. I mean, you were talking about easiest draws. Purdue's got the easiest draw by a mile.
I think so, huh?
Yeah, by a mile. Yeah, they're, Purdue's 2 is Tennessee, someone who's incredibly inconsistent in the dance. Creighton is incredibly streaky. Kansas is a shell of itself. Gonzaga is completely up and down. I don't think there's really a debate in terms of the East versus the Midwest. East being the hardest and the Midwest being the easiest for the number 1 seeds.
Put it in the chat. You guys are watching the show. Which region is the easiest? Which number 1 seed get the best road to Arizona? Houston, Marquette.
Do you want it as a poll or just have them just put it in there?
No, I can just type it in there.
Okay.
I like to see the chat flow up and down. We get the people riled up because Zade's coming in hot with plays and thoughts and picks, which is good. I wish I would have marinated it and let it fester and think about the bracket last night. I didn't look at it again since I was down at the book this morning, and there wasn't a person in there that cared about the bracket. It was great.
Really?
Yeah. Mondays and Tuesday before the tournament, there's not even a person. There's not a person in that book that gives a crap about this. They got all the games up on the board. I was more. Did you look at the NIT?
Yeah.
There's some good betting opportunities in the NIT.
Well, it's off target, right? So yeah, I mean, normally there are good betting opportunities. I'm psyched that UNLV accepted. We'll get to.
They got to go to Princeton.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's going to be a tough basketball game.
Under.
Ooh, really?
Under, yeah. But I mean, the thing that's interesting is the number of teams that opted out of the NIT.
Right.
6 major teams, 6 Power 5 teams all said, thanks, but no thanks, we're not going. And that's a problem. I mean, it waters down the NIT dramatically, but I think it's a tough sell for a lot of these programs to ask them to lose money to host an NIT game that means absolutely nothing, because the coaches know that with the transfer portal, it used to be all about the practices. It used to be like, well, wait, like the bowl games, you used to have a chance to have 8, 10 more practices, keep the group together, keep playing, honor your seniors, all the things that used to go into conference tournament or post-conference tournament play, and why the NIT, it was here last year. Now it's going to Hinkle in Indianapolis.
Right.
But people just don't want to lose money on it. Like they're like, wait a minute, I have to guarantee how many seats being sold. Right. And they're like, no, our fans aren't going to show up to this.
Well, you can't do a neutral site for it, all of it.
Right. It'd be a ghost town.
Yeah, you'd be playing in front of empty gyms. But you got here, Patino's upset about not getting in. Isn't this something like you said, to keep playing? Did you see Tom Crean's his quote last night? Like, he went off.
Do you know that 7 years ago, Tom Crean in Indiana turned down the NIT?
Did he really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a clown. It's a real clown. People just have very select memories. Like, I love Tom Crean's a really interesting guy. Okay. But the beat reporters for Indiana roasted him the second he did that, because they were like, remember 7 years ago, Tom Crean, when the NIT came to you and said, do you want to host? And what was your answer? Oh, that's right. You said, no, we're not going to accept it because we're going to lose money. So we're not playing. So it's easy to sit there on a desk and say what people want you to say, because I would say the same thing. You coward, play with your players, keep going, blah, blah, blah. But when you were in the same position 7 years ago, Tom Crean, you said no. So it's just, you lose all your credibility when you stand up there and you want to be on a high horse. And when you were actually in the arena, you choked and said no.
That's great little nugget of information. That
Beat writers are awesome. Guys who've been around their program for a long time are awesome. Like I'm going to get one past the Indiana beat writers and they're like, oh, really? Wow. That's interesting, Tom. I seem to remember 7 years ago when I was covering your basketball team that you did the same exact thing. Why is it bad or wrong now? Because look, Pitino's really mad. So is, English, Coach English at Providence. The Big East teams are furious because they feel like they got ripped off by the committee. Only 3 teams from the Big East are in. St. John's not being one of them. Providence not being another one of the teams. And look, St. John's is a top 25 Ken Pom team. And yet they were left on the sidelines. And Rick Pitino was furious about it. I think he has an absolute case being mad about teams like Virginia who got in. Do you think he does?
I saw you saw the Providence coach.
Yeah, he said to me, yep.
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same comment, same comment saying, metrics are BS.
Yeah. The analytics are, sorry, Will. He said it. The analytics are bullshit.
Yep.
It's hard because we measure it a certain way all season, and then no one at the committee is using any of the measurements, that you're using. So I don't know. Maybe there should be a Ken Pom invitational. That might help, because these ratings have, these teams better than they're perceived to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think at least 2 of them would have gotten in had like people deciding on the best basketball teams. They would have gotten a bid.
I just wonder, okay, if we're going to be so far in bed with sports books, right, and sports betting.
Yeah.
I wonder if people at the higher education levels would ever lower themselves to believe or to realize that there are people in the world who know a fuck more than they do.
Nope.
And maybe they should have an opportunity to sit down and explain to them what power ratings are.
Nope.
And that who actually is a good team and who actually is not a good team.
Not going to happen.
Because there are some of these games with numbers that just are like, wait, what? From a seeding perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, New Mexico is playing Clemson and New Mexico is favored.
Yeah.
Okay. New Mexico is favored.
Clemson as a 6-11.
Yes.
The
right.
11 is favored.
Right.
The 11 is a 2.5 point favorite.
Yes.
Oh, odds makers miss too.
I know, but if an 11 seed, a double-digit seed, is playing a team from Clemson, right? An ACC team, a team that got 5 teams in the bracket, a Mountain West Conference team that comes from a 6-bid conference, and 6-11, that matchup, the team that's the 11 seed is favored.
Yeah,
something would tell you that New Mexico is not seeded properly. Then, they won the Mountain West Conference. And yet they're favored to beat a middle-of-the-road Clemson team that was a borderline questionable. They got in because
Dave's Daily Picks. They should not make Billy Walters the head of anything. Let's relax on that. He's in the chat saying they should make Billy Walters the head of the selection committee. Believe everything you read, Dave. Relax. That's not going to help anybody.
But look, Butchie, I get it. Okay, I understand what we're saying is going to make some people nervous. But I think in terms of how we are if we're going to allow the bookmakers to have us, obviously advertise and be involved in, all this temple conversation and whatnot, maybe it's time for the athletic directors to understand that they don't know very much, that these metrics that they're using, the net and the scheduling, it's all a television show.
It's a TV show.
So they're in charge of making
March
sure
Madness. It's
the
a
right
TV show.
The right brand names.
The T-shirts printed on that.
Yeah.
That's one of your. That's a good one. March Madness. It's a TV show. The hell with the ratings. All of it. Yes.
And so you put Virginia in over, which is weird too, because somebody DM'd me this and said, "Explain this to me. Virginia being in is better for the TV show than St. John's, who is in New York." And I went, "That's a fine pushback." But St. John's is a relatively smaller school in terms of athletics than Virginia. Virginia's in the ACC.
ACC.
The Big East is a basketball-only conference. Even in basketball, football comes into play.
ACC. It's an ACC show. Just like
And it shouldn't be.
college football playoff is an SEC show.
Yes,
the SEC gets preferential
New
treatment.
Mexico wasn't going to be out. They were going to be out unless they won but they won it though. So
it.
It was going to be a 5-bid league versus a 6-bid league. There are 3 teams.
11 games are actually really intriguing. I mean, the 6-11 game, South Carolina and Oregon's a pick.
Great game.
New Mexico's favored in that one. BYU's a monster favorite against Duquesne. And Texas Tech is a 5-point favorite against NC State, who played their way in too. I mean, they must have said NC State, we have to give them a bid because they won it.
Right.
Make them an 11. Okay. New Mexico won it. We got to give them a bid. They give them an 11. Who knows what went on in that room?
We'll get to the expansion talk on the other side. Let's get to Z because Z is sitting here. So we'll get him on the program to have a conversation with us about what's happening here.
Fighting the line. I put the kid in the big box.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong one.
Uh-oh. Wrong configuration.
There we go. Hold on.
Look at this kid.
Hold on. Got to get rid of the banners. Hold on. There we go. Hold on. Now we're good.
Looks
What's
like
up, Z? How are you, my friend? Where are you? You sound like you're in a prison cell.
Okay, so I'm building out a studio. I'm actually in here now. If there's a bad echo, let me know. I'll move or something. But I'm building out a studio in my basement, so I'm working on it.
You got to get closer to the microphone.
One, to get closer to the mic. 2, you need some serious sound deadening things all over the walls and floor. If that's your studio.
I'm working on it. All right, hold on. Technical difficulties. Hold on.
Get close to the microphone, please.
All right.
I didn't test this out before. What are you doing?
No testing yet. This is just straight, I'm straight into it here.
It's fine. It's not better. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. We'll work on it for next time. All
right.
So it's all about the information, guys. Just worry about the information. That's all we need.
We're going to work on that. All right. It's a TV show. Did you just hear Matt? It's a TV show. We're on TV, Zade. We're replayed every night on Sports Grid across. We get hundreds of thousands of views, we were told. So we have to be very aware of what this looks like as well. All right. First order of business. You're in Chicago. Okay. Illini. Are they going to make a run? I mean, you look like you're sitting at the end of the bench with that T-shirt on. What is this for real?
Yeah, I think this is for real, and this is the first time in a while. We've had teams in the past where everybody thought we could go far. This is the year where I think we could score at all 3 levels. Terrence Shannon Jr. is a special player, and we saw it in the tournament. He's scoring 30, he's scoring 40. This is a guy that can literally single-handedly win you games. You have the transfer in Marcus Damas, absolutely balling out the whole year. He can play with his back behind the basket. He makes right plays. He can knock down a 3. He can make the right passes, and he can finish at the rim strong. You have guys like Coleman Hawkins who extend the floor defensively, offensively, can pick and pop. You have Dane Danger who can play down low as well. This is a team that can literally play at all 3 levels of the floor, and they're very dangerous come March.
What do you make of the Big Ten as a whole? I mean, I'm not that high on the Big Ten, so I don't really know how to properly evaluate the Illini. And Brad Underwood, man, his tournament record outside of Stephen F. Austin has not been great.
Yeah, I think when you look at the Big Ten, Michigan State's a team that I think is highly seeded. I don't see them doing really anything. I know it's Tom Izzo in March, and everybody likes them, but I don't see that as a team that can make noise. Purdue, you mentioned earlier, absolute cakewalk, I think, in the beginning of the tournament. They're a team, even though I know they choke every single year, but this is the year, I mean, they have a really strong team. So they're returning the same players. These guys have experience, and I remember there was a year Virginia got upset, and next year they came back with around the same squad, and they won it all. And that kind of gives me the feeling of Purdue this year. I think they have a really, really good matchup in the first couple of weeks. So they're going to get to the second week for sure, in my opinion. If they don't, I mean, it's the biggest collapse of all time. But this is the team that could really win the tournament once they get rolling here.
The second weekend for your Illini would be a 2-game parlay where they'd have to beat Iowa State and then beat UConn just to get to the desert, just to the Final Four.
Yeah.
You think that's legit? You think they can beat both? One is hard enough. They can beat both. See, you're not picking them to go to Final Four, Please.
No, I'm not. But I think I would not be shocked if they did it. I mean, Iowa State, I think, is the best team in the country, and I felt that way for the last 2 weeks. I think defensively they're really strong. I mean, look what they did to Houston. They just absolutely dismantled Houston. That's a team that's very good. There's one team that sticks out to me in particular that can make that Cinderella run, and that's Texas. Texas has a team. Okay, now
What?
Just bear with me here. Okay?
Is there someone on the other side of that camera holding something against you, telling you to say this? Are you good?
No, we're good. Trust me.
Texas.
This is a team. This is a Texas team, okay? This is a tournament, guys. You guys got to remember, anything can happen. When you get hot, you get hot. And you got great guard play with Max Absmith, Tyrese Hunter, and then you got one of the best defenders for guards is Shundell Weaver, who comes off the bench for Texas. Dylan DeSue is a household name that you guys are going to know within the next week and a half, I guarantee you. He's
not when they lose in their second game, we're not. They're losing in Tennessee. Texas is not beating Tennessee.
I think they beat Tennessee. I really do. I think this is a Texas team that pick and roll with Ace Smith and DeSue is going to cause tons of problems. You got Shedrick down low who can bang with the best big men. They got Mitchell. They have length. They have really strong length, and they have really good guards. I think this is a team that can go far in this tournament, and it's going to upset a lot of people. Texas is my team that I'm willing to just say, this is my team this year, and it's Texas.
I mean, they could lose game 1. They could lose to Colorado State.
I think you're going to see something special here. I really do. I think the guard play with Abe Smith, and then when they run that pick and roll, DeSue has been unhealthy all year. Okay, and now you're bringing him into a tournament. I think there's a huge advantage in them losing in their conference tournament. Now they had time to prepare even more. They've been sitting at home. They're resting, they're practicing, and they're preparing for this tournament. Dylan DeSue and Max Absmith in that pick and roll, you're going to have DeSue pop out. It's going to cause a lot of problems. It kind of reminds me of the Oral Roberts team where you had Kevin O'Banner. This is the same situation here. And they have the big men to get rebounds. They got Brock Cunningham, who's a hustle player, and they have good guard play with Tyrese Hunter and Weaver as well. I think this is a team that can make a lot of noise.
Z, who goes further? Midwest guy, Wisconsin, or Marquette?
Marquette.
With Tyler Kolek coming back, if he plays, he's legit, man. I think this team is really legit, especially if you get Kolek back. They're a whole different team. I mean, you have Jones as well. They have great big men. This is a team I think can go far.
That's why I asked you about the Big Ten, because I think Wisconsin is done in the first game. JMU knocks them out. I'm not nearly as high on the Illini as you are. I think Purdue got a cakewalk in the Midwest, but other teams in the Big Ten, I don't know. It's not going to be stunning to me if the Big Ten's all gone and none of them make it by the first weekend, and that includes Purdue.
Wow.
I'm on high in the Big Ten at all.
I think when you look at what Illinois has done throughout the year, it's they're scoring so many points. I mean, something that stuck out to me for game 1, just to give a couple plays here, they opened minus 13.5. They're down to minus, I want to say, 11.5. The totals on Illinois has been literally from 160s to 145. Right now, you're sitting at 147 in this game, I believe, 147.5. Morehead State's a team that plays really, really slow. This is one of the slowest paced teams in college, I believe. And they're not really starting their offense until they're 17, 16 seconds down the floor. It's a lot of motion going around, a lot of standing around. You're getting motion, but with the ball, they're just holding the ball at the top of the key while people move around. This is a team that's going to play at a real, real slow pace. Give me the under here at 147.5. I think this game probably finishes around 135 to 140. They're going to play at the slowest pace possible to keep themselves in the game. And I think that's why they went from minus 13.5 to minus 11.5, because Morehead State's going to try to keep this game as close as possible.
And
so
the total opened on that 151.5 last night when we did the show. So that was a double play under. Wow. All right, so you hit me with a couple things here. I can't believe it. You said Texas. You set me back I feel like I just got kneed in the face like Cheeto did. I'm going to keep referring to that UFC hit that I just took. Z, everybody talks about the 5-12s. I think the 6-11s are really engaging games. Anything in the 5-12s or 6-11s, other plays that you may be looking at?
For me, the Wisconsin game is really interesting. I just don't know how good they're going to play. What's the accurate line at right now? I know lines have been everywhere. Do you have that pulled up if possible?
For which game?
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
4.5, 145 was the opener, 761, 762. Current number is 5.5, 145.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's priced about right, but like Wisconsin's a team. I mean, I know you guys say James Madison, but Wisconsin's been playing really good basketball. I mean, this is a team that's, I think they play as a team. They play really well. You know, AJ Store's a great guard that you have that can lead you in the tournament, and I think they get past James Madison. I don't know about them covering, but I think this is a team where I'm a Big Ten guy, and I've been watching so much Big Ten basketball. I think besides Illinois, Wisconsin is a team that could get past and maybe make a small run of winning a game or two in the tournament.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin's out in game one. I think Nebraska's out in game one. I think Purdue will have pretty much a walk to the Elite Eight to see where they wind up going. But the Illini, it's been 19 years since they made the Sweet 16. It's been a long time since Illinois has been in the second weekend.
Were you even alive, Z?
Yeah, I was 3 years old at the
There you
time.
go. Okay, he's 3 years old. All right, he's 3 years old. So you're telling me that Brad Underwood is the secret sauce to this Illini team snapping a 19-year streak of losing in the first two games?
I think Terrence Shannon Jr. is a very special player, and I think having guard play is the most important thing come March. This is a team that's rolling into the tournament, absolutely rolling into the tournament. Something that I want to dive.
I don't think. By the way, I'm not sure. You have to be careful because you just said it's a good thing for Texas to not have won, and the Illini, it's a good thing they did win. So it's one or the other, because I think there's two schools of thought here. Either you want to win your conference tournament and play well, like Wisconsin almost did, and get hot, or be like a team like Texas who got bounced really early and been sitting there cooling their jets. It's hard to have it both ways.
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand, if you're bouncing in the first game, you're out. But I mean, if you're winning a game, too, it's different. I mean, for me, Texas, I just look at it. They have a ton of time to prepare here, and their team has been on my radar the whole year. This is a team that's lost to Houston in overtime earlier in the year. They have wins against Baylor. They've been in every single game. Like, it's not like they're not getting smoked unless it's just like teams were just on fire. I watched so much Texas basketball this year where I'm like, okay, this is a team that, like, come March can just literally light it up.
Yeah, but Z, Texas took Houston to overtime at their place. When they played at Houston, they lost by 20. They got annihilated. So, like, we're not playing on home courts. We're playing on neutral courts.
I understand that, but I just think I just want to let the games do the talking. And
all right.
I can't wait for it. This is a team I'm like, okay, I'm planting my flag here. This is a Texas team that I really enjoy.
I love this. This is good. Okay, good luck with that. I don't know how.
They're 246 in three-point defense, by the way, Z. So if they see a team that hits threes, Texas is going home quick.
You just got to remember, this is the tournament. This is just like, it's like
if they beat Tennessee, we're clipping it. Right. Speaking of cooling jets on fire, like, are you letting that mustache grow? Like we had James say, what are you doing with the stash? Get a little closer to the camera so I can see you. Are you letting this thing grow out?
I'm thinking about it. I'm letting it grow out for now. I think I might get the beard and stash going. I'm not sure. Comment in the chat. Let me know what you guys think.
Oh, God. Don't ask the chat. Don't ask the chat.
Ask the chat what they think about the mustache only.
It's a bad idea.
P. Ralt's coming to Chicago. He needs a place, although he's a foodie.
Oh, yeah.
He's taking recommendations. Listen to this part of it, Z. He's doing Cubs the first weekend in April outside.
Friday night, day game against the Dodgers.
Saturday, Blackhawks game inside. Sunday, he's going on boats looking at architecture outside. You think it's going to be okay? Like, I'm worried about it. He gets cold. He got back stiffness now. There's a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, can you give him somewhere inside where he could go and maybe get a nice meal?
Yeah, I mean, me and you talked about this in the past, but that is a great place in Chicago.
Second person said that.
Italian food that just opened up in Chicago. I'm just giving free advertisement here. Gino and Marty's, great place. Haven't heard about yet. Just give me a call and maybe, we can set something up, grab some dinner.
All right. We'll figure something out for sure. So what's your favorite play for the opening weekend?
I like the under in Illinois and Morehead State. I think there's a reason you saw the drop right away. I think this is going to be a slower paced game. Illinois totals, I feel like I kind of nailed. And if you look at what their totals have been throughout the year, it's literally been from like 145 to 160s, like just based on who they played. This is going to be a slower paced game in the tournament. and I think the under here is the right play.
Good stuff. Z, appreciate the time, my friend. We'll talk down the line, all right?
Nice shirt. I
Thanks,
love it.
guys.
See you, brother.
Zade Hussein joining us here in the Tony versus
Illini.
the Illini alumni check is in the mail to Z to go
He
ahead.
didn't even go to the Illini.
They're going to be very very excited for the free publicity that. And by the way, we did not stick Zade in a hostage style conversation.
Had nothing to do
We
with
had nothing
the
to do with
setup.
where he was.
We didn't know that was coming. I was nervous. Actually, he was really far back at the beginning. We're gonna have to give him those home studio setup guides, suggestions.
It's tremendous.
They love him. The chat loves him.
It's
He's a
great.
good- I love that kid.
I have no idea what he's talking about with Texas. I
didn't see that coming.
I have no idea what he's talking about with Texas. That's insane. I'm sorry. That's I just know.
Does Texas automatically beat the winner of that playing game, Virginia and Colorado State?
I mean, I think CSU beats Virginia. And then look, we've seen this before. We've seen teams who win in Dayton go on runs. I think CSU will be dangerous coming out of Dayton. I think Texas will have their hands full of that basketball game. And I think they could easily lose that game. And then CSU goes and loses to Tennessee. So, I mean,
100% we're clipping that and putting it everywhere if Texas beats Tennessee.
Oh, sure. Of course. Yeah. That's a bad matchup for Tennessee. I mean, for Texas. Tennessee's a bad matchup. Colorado State's a worse matchup for Tennessee than Texas is. Texas plays same way that Tennessee does. Tennessee's just a better version of them. Remember, Rick Barnes played or coached at Texas. Took them to a Final Four. So, these are all the things. The committee, this is what they do, okay? They're all after storylines. We can get right into this because this is just incredible. The number of storylines that are going on here in the dance. It's wild. Right. So, first, UConn is a 26.5 point favorite over Stetson. That's the largest first-round spread since 2002. It's been 22 years.
Is it high enough?
I don't
know if it's high enough, P-Roll.
You're going to lay 26.5 points?
No, I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I mean, you had to get it to a point where somebody will come in and say, give me Stetson.
That's insane. 26.5 points is unbelievable in a college basketball game. I mean, that's just.
The total's 144. I mean,
so what?
A lot of other 20s games.
Stetson team total under? I mean, what are you doing with that? Butchie said it should be 30.
That's what I'm saying. I'm with Butchie. I don't know if it's high enough.
UConn gets to play in Brooklyn and then Boston. It says then Boston, should be then Boston. For them, that's why they got a tough draw. You want to know what happened and why the committee did what they did? They didn't want to hear people say, you just gift wrapped the Final Four appearance to the defending champs. So they said, fine, we're going to give you multiple conference champions because we're going to give you Brooklyn and Boston. So you're going to have a home crowd advantage in all four of your games in a huge factor. I mean, any ticket on the secondary market in Brooklyn and Boston will be bought by a UConn person. It'll be massive home court advantage for both. Huge energy in the building for UConn. It's going to be hard to beat them before we get to Arizona.
Yeah, it was going to hard to beat. If we played the games on Mars, it would be hard to beat UConn. This is a nice little.
You're higher on UConn than I am. You're higher. I've watched them lose. I've watched them lose two games in which both Seton Hall and Creighton de-pants them.
Yeah.
Like you can beat
on
UConn.
The road.
Yeah, you can beat UConn. UConn is beatable.
You just dismissed on the road. They're not playing on the road.
No, but that's true. But it's on neutral. It's not at home. And when you're on a neutral court,
made a case that this is going to be one of the most home-rich environments of the whole tournament.
Sure, but UConn can be beaten. I'm not saying they're unbeatable.
I'm not saying they're unbeatable either, but they're the best team.
They are the best team. They are right now. I mean, I still think I still really look at Houston in a tournament setting, and I like Houston's metrics more than I like UConn's metrics. They're physically tougher than UConn.
You really just don't like Connecticut.
I fucking hate Connecticut, but I'm just from a big standpoint, from a basketball standpoint, and looking at this, I hate Dan Hurley. Okay, I hate Connecticut. I also hate Dan Hurley. I think he's a fucking clown. So like I would love for someone to eject him in the tournament. I love to have the referee Jerry Pollard. If Jerry Pollard works his game in the dance, watch for the name Jerry Pollard, the ref. if he's working a Dan Hurley game, only one ref in all of college basketball that have the balls to throw out the coach of the defending champs, it would be Jerry Pollard. He would chuck him out. But like he did it in the game against St. John's. He tried to get a fan ejected because a fan was yapping at him. Like he's got the biggest rabbit ears of any guy. Small man syndrome to the up 10th degree is Dan Hurley. It's amazing. Little brother syndrome on top of that. So everyone should just go there and chant Bobby was better at the guy and he'll melt. He'll just freak out. He can't handle it. The PTSD he has from dealing with that in college, do it to him in the dance. Please, someone do it to him in the dance. UConn, if they don't get to the Final Four, I will laugh my ass off because they've been gifted. Talk about Purdue getting gifted. That draw is challenging, but they don't fly to the Final Four. They get to take buses to the first round, second round.
They're the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Number 1 seed gets that.
Ask North Carolina about being a number 1 seed. They're out here.
They're not the number 1 seed.
Right.
But number 1 seed gets the best path travel-wise.
Of course, but they would get it anyway, though. They'd be number 1 in the East anyway. Just North Carolina was the weakest number 1, so they couldn't be better than UConn, so they got sent out west.
They always send those teams out. Remember when they used to send UConn out west? They were always
because they were never the number 1 seed in terms of being the best East. They always had Duke or North Carolina, they were the 1 seed in the East. So if you're a number 1 seed, but you're not better than the other number 1 seed, you're getting shipped out, which is what happened.
UNC got a nice trip to Charlotte.
In the beginning, yeah. And then LA. And then they got to go to LA.
Right.
and then they're out west. Arizona got a better draw than North Carolina, and they're the 2 seed. Arizona's playing local, playing in Salt Lake, and then playing LA. They're a drive if you want. I mean, it's about a 10-hour drive.
It's a long drive from Arizona.
It's a 10-hour drive. You can do it.
10-hour drive?
I did it from Boston to from Western Mass to Atlanta for UMass.
Play the game.
No, they're flying, obviously. I'm talking about fans. I'm talking about people who get to go. Arizona will have fans in Salt Lake City, 100%, and they'll have tons of fans in LA. Though, if Arizona plays Carolina in the Elite Eight, where the trip to the Final Four, that'll be all Arizona. That'll be a huge home court advantage for the Wildcats in that game. More storylines. 2 seed Iowa State has to play TJ Otzelberger's former employer in South Dakota State. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is a setup.
I mean, this is in Omaha, which is drivable for both the Jackrabbit and Cyclone fans. You want to talk about a game I can't wait to watch? This game I can't wait to watch.
This is on
It's on while we're on live on Thursday.
Oh, good.
It's on while we're live at Resorts World doing the live show. This game tips off, I think, 6:30 Eastern, 3:30.
7:47, 7:48, 4:35 on Thursday, 4:35 Pacific.
Yeah. So we're right on with us. So we can watch this game. And then Iowa State could face
first to 15. We're taking the Jackrabbits.
Oh boy. If Iowa State shoots threes the way they shot in the Big 12 tournament, no way.
We're dead.
But we're dead if they shoot the way they shot. But
that one for a second.
Just saying,
another 4:30. Hey,
if they hit their threes, I don't know.
I don't want to do that with I don't want to do that against
Iowa. That could be hard.
That ain't
but
the one.
If Iowa State wins and Drake wins and they beat Washington State, which I think Drake will.
State wins. Iowa State is winning.
You have to say if. You have to kind of you have to couch it. You got to couch it. I mean, it's 2 versus 15. You got to couch it. I'm fine. I'll give it to you. But South Dakota State, I mean, look, I've seen people say take South Dakota State plus the points today, that they're going to be right there.
No, the game is 133.
It's a massive.
Well, it's shot up 135 in some places now. A lot of places, 135. Initial number might have been right. I like under.
So you have a 10 seed Drake, coached by Darren DeVries, who was on Dana Altman's staff.
Which, by the way, is painted 1.5 or 2 now.
Drake
is minus 1.5 or 2.
Wow, that flipped.
Against Washington State.
Yep.
If you would have listened or watched the show last night,
told you.
We still fucking got it.
Yeah.
Told you that number should have been Drake.
Kevin,
points.
They're going to be full of Cyclone fans, but do not underestimate Drake and Des Moines pouring out to go watch Drake play Iowa State and cheering and wearing blue. I tell you right now, every Creighton fan who has season tickets, who bought tickets because it's available to them, will be cheering on Drake in that game in the second round.
All right.
It'll be blue versus red. The red will be all Cyclone fans, but the blue is going to be a mixture of Creighton fans and Drake fans. Why? Darren DeVries was on Dana Altman's staff for, I believe it was 6 years before he went to before he took over at Drake, and he knows the building. He coached in that building for years. He opened that building with Dana Altman. When they opened, it was then called, was the Chi Center now. It was called the Quest Center at the time. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. If this game happens, Drake and Iowa State playing the second round. Tucker DeVries, son of Darren DeVries. TJ knows him really well. TJ Otzelberger's got monster ties, obviously, to the Iowa and Des Moines region, the Drake program. Sign me up for Drake, Iowa State.
This is going to be the whole atmosphere is going to be electric. Like the whole Omaha pod, all the games are going to have some juice to it.
Heat.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Rainmaker Lou just put in the text, put in the chat that he's going to go to the games in Pittsburgh. He's going to try to go to the games in Pittsburgh. That's good.
We'll get to those in a second.
We'll
talk about that in a second.
I like that.
8 seed Nebraska just lost their athletic director, Trev Alberts, the football star, under not suspicion of leaving due to money, but like there's a lot of questions about, Tom Osborne would never have done what Trev Alberts just did. Trev was the AD at University of Nebraska, Omaha.
Tom Osborne would have lasted 5 minutes in this NIL situation.
Oh my God, no. No, true. So he was the AD of UNO, as they call it. This is UNL, but UNO. The wrestling program at Nebraska Omaha had won 4 national championships in 6 years before Trev showed up. Trev showed up and killed the program.
Why?
Enraged. Money. Didn't want to pay for the money of it. Killed it. Killed the wrestling program. Enraged Nebraska fans on both the Creighton, Nebraska, and UNO, the Mavericks, furious over it. They were so mad over it. Trev then went and got the job at Nebraska because they were in turmoil, needed an AD. He hired Matt Rule. Trev Alberts just left and went to Texas A&M. Both committees.
To be the athletic director?
To be the athletic director. Both committees, the women's bracket and the men's bracket. Nebraska is playing Texas A&M. Like, don't tell me these people don't have sense of humor. Like, this is hysterically funny that Trev Alberts is going to get motherfucked if he's if he's anywhere near the court. Husker fans want this guy dead. They are so mad that Trev Alberts did what he did and how he left. I cannot wait to see the environment about this. A&M fans are loving life. The only reason why it gave me pause as to why I may not take A&M is because Nebraska's seeing red literally against A&M. They're furious over
My
this.
move to pick.
A&M wins the game. Nebraska.
Now it's 8. Now it's Nebraska 1.5. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah,
paying 1.5.
Nebraska sucks on the road. They suck away from home. They haven't won a tournament game in their history. They've never won a game in their tournament history. Don't think that's going to happen coming up here. I'm taking A&M on that. Until further notice, I'm taking A&M. And I like Fred Hoiberg a lot. He's a really good guy. Don't think this is the time for them to win their first tournament game. But, man, it's going to sting if it's A&M who ends their season. They'd rather lose to Creighton in the tournament than they would lose to A&M right now.
Yeah.
Money, money, money. And for Husker fans, Nebraska people, Iowa people, they can relate to this. Like, they really don't like when the big oil money schools flex their muscles. And that's what A&M did. They said, we need an AD. Here's a lot of money, Trev. And Trev took it.
Well, I love when they put together the teams that have like an old rivalry. Like this is an old school.
Well, this is
like,
Big 8 rivalry.
Right?
Yep.
Like
yep.
this is old,
but
yeah, forget all that
renewed.
other stuff about Trev Alberts. I just see Nebraska, Texas A&M, and I think of other things, as somebody from outside that bubble.
Yep.
I mean, they know what they're doing. They put together a damn good TV show, P-Roll.
If Creighton gets to play up against Dana Altman in round 2 in Pittsburgh, my God, Lou, give me a couch. I may need to come on out. You might see me knocking on your door.
We got places.
Ding, ding, ding.
We can do it.
I got to come out and see this thing because
we ain't working.
Coach
That's
McDermott.
actually good idea. We ain't working this weekend.
I mean, Coach Mack up against Dana Altman. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. Do you want to go? We could go.
Of course I want to go. Of course I want to go. It's just, can we go is the bigger question. I want to go. Yes, to go. And if we show up and we're like, hi, Coach Mack, you'd be like, what the hell are you two dudes doing here? It would be awesome. Up again. I mean, this is like if now Oregon's got to win their first game, which I think that they can. Okay. But they got to win their first game, which is not going to be easy. What's the line now for Oregon? Does it come down?
Hold on. Let me look. 7:30.
Because South Carolina is 100% game to beat them.
Yeah, South Carolina moved to the favorite. -1, 1.5.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
132.
Oh my God, LL. If he takes Matt Rule to Texas A&M next year, oh my God, could you imagine that? Whoo, Husker fans would be real.
He's not doing that.
Real mad. I like Oregon too. So, look, there's going to be a lot of people who like South Carolina, given their propensity to win big games on the road this year. I mean, they went to Tennessee and won by 20. Like, they can play on the road, 100%.
It's just ironic. Creighton's in Pittsburgh. We got people in Pittsburgh. Lou will come pick us up. What do we need, a car? Huh.
I mean, you're talking about an unbelievable, super fun game. Creighton against Oregon. And if Oregon beats the Jays again, like they did back in the CBI final about 10 years ago, it's going to suck. It's going to suck.
No chick.
I did not put it on the screen for a reason. Yep.
Lou. We just saw Lou. He came to he was here for the Super Bowl.
Yes, he was.
He came to the live show.
I do lean South Carolina too. I'm pulling hard for Dana. It would be awesome if we had it. I don't think Akron's going to put up much of a fight for the Creighton Blue Jays in terms of maybe they don't cover the number, but I think the Jays win the game. And then we get into, can the Jays win that second game, which has always been the bugaboo. Before last year, before the run to the Elite Eight, the Creighton Blue Jays had never made the Sweet 16. And they won, and they went to the Elite Eight, and they were one possession away and one crap call against San Diego State away
still mad about that
from making the Final Four. And now this team remembers that. Now they have a different point guard, but Stephen Ashworth, please shoot the basketball, my friend, because if you're on, they can beat anybody in the country, but they got to hit threes, Oregon included. They got to hit threes. And if they don't, it's going to be potentially a quick game.
I ain't going to lie. Kendall, you could text your mother. You tell her we're going to Pittsburgh this weekend. Tell your mother. I take the red eye. We get the red eye out of here Friday night. We're there Saturday morning for the game.
What time's that game supposed to start?
I don't know. This is going to cause a problem. We could go. We'll be back Sunday. 24 hours. You got put on a bench by the other joint. That's fine. We go to the game. That'll be good content. We're going to have to bring a shooter to shoot the video. Me and you can take turns shooting the video. It's not like it's a two-man game right now. We shoot the video with each other every day. People asked me yesterday, who produces the show?
We do.
Matt. I said,
we do.
I said, Oda Graphics. He does it all. I said, who gets the guest? Me. Who does the rundown? Both of us. So they wouldn't believe it. So I mean, I guess if we could, I don't know if we could get somebody to come shoot us hanging out watching the game. That'd be good content. I'm just saying. We get Lou, the rest of the crew show up in Pittsburgh. Stevie Mack, Football Guy 97, might drive across the state. Have a whole meetup Sunday to watch the games. Oh, God. Man, oh, man.
Interesting. They got to win the games on Thursday first, but Friday? Friday, Sunday? Yeah, but Oregon might not win. The Creighton will play. But Oregon might not win.
Wouldn't it, South Carolina Creighton game would actually be, it wouldn't be the storyline, but it would still be a hell of a game.
It would be. Just not going to have the same, the same energy won't be there in the building.
Oh, I think you're wrong, sir.
Dana Altman is the architect of the Creighton basketball program. I have advocated for years that the court should be named Dana Altman Court in Omaha.
Thursday, Saturday it is. Thursday, the games.
So
Creighton
Friday.
plays in the morning.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fully anticipate I'm going to be at Resorts World watching that game.
I think we need to get there before, I think
I will be there watching
that game.
I will watch Creighton I just won't set up anything, but I'm going to Red Tail to watch the game 100%. That's where I will be.
Back better be right by then.
No, I may need multiple trips, maybe like 15 trips out of my car.
Oh my God.
to get everything down there. But
last time we had our horses, we had bear maulings and stuff met us there. We might.
That's a great point, though, Lou. That's a great point.
What? Kansas, Kentucky would be the other game.
Yeah, it could be KU, Kentucky being in the other game on Saturday.
Oh my goodness! Texas Tech, NC State, Kentucky, Oakland. That's the other games. Oh my. Yeah, Kentucky, Texas Tech. That's who it is.
Yeah, but there'd be 4 games.
Yeah.
So there would be, you could see. No, I mean, there'd be 2 games. It would be. How would Kansas wait?
It's not Kansas. It's Kentucky, Texas Tech.
Thank you, not Kansas. I was gonna say, how is that possible?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean,
what they did with this bracket that went from a user standpoint of printing it out, now at least they put the cities in, because you have the East region is in
all over the place, right?
Brooklyn, Spokane, Omaha.
It's pods because it only becomes the East regional once they get to the Sweet 16.
Right.
That's when it really matters.
Right.
When it becomes the East regional to win the region. Everything else is bracketed as pods from geographical perspectives and sending people around and whatnot. Yeah. So, okay, we skipped over this, but we can go back to this. Interesting article that came out today on Yahoo Sports about the tournament and about expanding the tournament. Dan Wetzel writes, March Madness. Here comes more tournament expansion talk to fix what isn't broken. March Madness is damn near perfect. If anything, the first 4 should be wiped out. He essentially goes on to explain the bracket, like you just mentioned, is a perfect experiment in sports that has worked out perfectly well for everybody involved. And going to 72 or going to 78 or whatever they're thinking about doing would be an absolute disaster. Agree?
100% agree. Give the people something to vote. Just got a huge influx of people. It must be just afternoon. This is perfect. Would you expand the NCAA tournament? Yes or no? I can't see the argument for expansion.
This year.
Ever. It is perfect.
But this is the year. It just happens to be. This is I play conspiracy theorist a lot in this show, and this is my conspiracy theory. It just happened to work out that this is the year where the most number of Power 5 conference teams got left out, which is the number one argument right now.
This tournament isn't for them.
Yes, it is. It's all for the Power 5. It's all it is for the Power 5.
It's for the little guys.
Well, no, that's what we think. That's not what they think. They don't think that at all.
But this makes it relevant. It makes the whole season worth it at the end. The little guys don't want to go play in the NIT. Stugotz, we don't want to go. I'm not saying that's right or wrong.
I'm with you. Again, I love to Barry Hinson's quote, "We are the Magic." Yes, Indiana State, Missouri State, back when they had an RPI of 25 or 28 rather. Indiana State had a net of 28 this year. 28 left out. See ya. Thanks for playing. Bye. The Valley now has the record of the highest RPI team to be left out and the highest net team to be left out in NCAA at-large history.
Yeah, these ratings and all this other stuff. Watch the game. Somebody just tell the guys, watch the games.
Providence, St. John's, Oklahoma. The problem that Oklahoma fans are bringing up is the fact that Oklahoma might be the first team ever to be left out that had 0 quad 2, quad 3, or quad 4 losses. Every loss by Oklahoma this year was a quad 1 loss. And the Valley best rated team left out of the RPI era, Missouri State. And now we have the record for the best rated team left out of the NAT era, Indiana State. Great job, everybody. So, Valley people are pissed. And they're right to be pissed.
Isn't some things just left better untouched? Like how is this going to get better with expansion? Don't you dilute the product? It's already hard enough to know that there's 2 games on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
Playing games. Like it's
the argument could be this. Okay. You could essentially eliminate the play-ins and expand. You have 8 teams that are there. You could expand and eliminate the Dayton games and add more to make the bracket. Now, 70, how do you do a 78 team bracket? There's buys and other things have to go in there, because 64 is a perfect number. 16 4 times, it's a perfect number. It makes sense.
6 games. We got to win 6 games.
Right.
That's enough. I don't need to win 7. Oh, if you're on the outside, well, then you have to win 7. You're going to have to win. You don't play the first week. That. It's enough. It's absolutely perfect the way it is. I don't think there's any good reason to expand it other than to let these other big conference teams, Power 5, get, there's no crying and bitching and complaining because 78's the right number. Right? I don't see why.
They're going to try to move it. They're going to try to move. They're going to try to get the number up. It's clear. Everything what they're saying about power conference schools being left out. It's literally what the NCAA brass said going into the tournament, saying we have too many good quality, high level teams not making the dance. And then numerous Power 5 high level quality teams didn't make the dance. I just play conspiracy theory the same way that.
Right. Oh, you're frozen. Look at that. Bam.
It's the same thing.
He started saying conspiracy theory, he froze.
Right. It's the same thing.
Coming after the channel now.
It's the conspiracy theory that I think makes a lot of sense. That right when they started talking about the fact that, oh no, these teams aren't going to get in, they didn't get in. And you were leaving too many quality teams on the sidelines. And now you're leaving Oklahoma, St. John's, Seton Hall, Providence on the sidelines.
Did you hear the Providence coach?
Yeah. But he's speaking the language.
Change the schedule.
Yeah, but Kim English is talking the language of the guys at the NCAA. Like he's talking about the fact that it's broken, the metrics are broken, this shouldn't work because what he's saying is the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC, they manipulated the net to get their teams in.
Right. That's what ultimately ends up happening. Like you can manipulate the numbers. We're finding a lot about numbers all the time. I've been saying it all the time. What goes on all the time with the numbers. Mm-hmm. That's why I love the betting. Here's the number. Buy it. Done. That's it. But there's manipulation going on with that too. I don't want to see expansion. Are we going to extend this another week?
I don't know.
Are you going to pack it in?
The Masters is not moving their tournament.
Yeah. It's the perfect window. We got all the caca games going on in the other sports, like at the rush to make the playoffs. They let 16 teams in the playoffs in both leagues, in the NHL and the NBA, and they have a play-in tournament now with the NBA. So almost every team gets in. We're playing all these, the meaningful stuff is good enough. We got a 6-game parlay to win the whole championship, and every possession matters. It's the most fun college basketball.
Remember, the NCAA does not make money directly from the college football playoff as a separate entity. NCAA controls this. This is their number one cash cow. This is what fuels and funds a ton of what the NCAA does.
Right.
So they want more games. They want to give it to more partners. If they create more games, they can give it to other partners. Apple TV, Netflix, Amazon. That's what they're looking at. They're looking at the fact that they signed a long-term deal with CBS for, I think it was $5 billion. I think it was something along those lines.
That much? Oh, geez. You just froze again. Without face, Mikey's clipping that. He's putting that in the Discord channel. TheBVBShow.com is where you go to get in the Discord channel.
On April 16th, they signed a deal till 2032 for $8.8 billion.
2032.
Okay, so now you understand we're in 2024. How do we make more money? Well, you got to create actual new games. You have to create a new product in order to say, well, we feel like we're leaving money on the table. $8.8 billion, not enough money for us. We need to make more. So you guys get the 68 CBS, but now 72 or 78, those are going to go to Apple TV, or those are going to go to Google. YouTube TV gets it now.
Oh, boy.
So that's just where we are, unfortunately. That's just how I do not want them to do it, but, here we are. Games start tomorrow in Dayton. We'll have breakdown picks and plays as we get towards. Do you do a bracket? Everyone's asking me for mine. Do you do a bracket?
I haven't done a bracket for years.
Okay, so you don't. So I'll put once I do.
I might ask the kids to do it.
Once I do my quote official bracket, I'll put it up. I only do one official bracket. Everything else is just bets. But I do one bracket and then I bet on everything else. So I don't believe.
I like the interactiveness of the contest with. And again, guys, if you're doing the splashsports.com/BVB contest, I wish you were in a state that you could do it. If you can't, we didn't make the rules, but the interactiveness of that is, I did a contest like that once. It was so much more fun than filling out the bracket.
Yeah.
Although I used to run bracket pools when I was I will never forget. I ran a bracket pool in 1986. I was 15 when Villanova won. And the kid that won knew nothing about basketball. And that was when I knew, we had everybody that was watching the games and filled it out, and he picked Villanova to upset everybody.
Wow.
Because he liked the team name or something. Stevie Schneider was his name. Took down all the money. To this day, we talk about, you remember when Schneider picked Villanova? Kid couldn't pick his nose. It was unbelievable.
Right. Yeah. So, if you're in a state that you're blacked out, we talked about this a bit last night, but if you're in Massachusetts, you can just go to Rhode Island or Connecticut. If you're in Nevada, you can just go to Utah. If you're in Arizona, you can just slide over to either New Mexico or slide over to California. You can go, it's geo-targeted, okay? So if you have the ability just to slide over, it depends on where you are in the state, obviously, but in Nevada, getting to Utah is not that hard. It's about 45 minutes. Getting to California, same thing. It's about 45 minutes. It's not that hard to get there. So yes, I know it's a pain in the ass, but if you do end up going to those states, not that tough. It's just like sports books. If you get into a legalized state. Now, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, that's a tough deal. Okay. If you're Washington, Oregon, Idaho, or Montana, that's a tough deal. You guys are blacked out pretty much anywhere you are, but in the Midwest or in the Southwest, you should be able to find your way over if you want to be a part of it. So the reason why that is, we talked about it a bit last night, but everyone's doing bracket challenges. We wanted to do something different that was going to be every week that gave, if how many of us say, fuck, my bracket's dead after the first weekend. Okay.
Right.
In a way, keep you guys involved throughout the entire tournament. So it resets after each round, it resets. They're legal. Splash Sports is legal in about 45 states for bracket pools, but for individual game picks, like in Massachusetts, you can't do that. If you have money on the line for an individual game, they see that as gambling. Thus, you're competing with the sports book.
Right.
So they say, no, you can't do that. So, that on that. We do proxy services now? What are we doing? I'll proxy it for you. My God. What are we doing? All right.
Guys in the chat that, and again, you can put it in the chat that you're running a pool, get something done. Johnny Parlay had a good idea. I wish we could do that. Somebody wants to put together something. Go to the Discord channel.
Just put it in the Discord channel.
In there, the BVB show.
Don't put it on the chat. Don't do it here. Put it in that's where the BVBshow.com Discord channel. Go in there, do other stuff. You can go talk to each other in there and do that type of stuff there. So we're not getting in trouble with anybody legally, what state and whatnot. So that's what we're doing. Okay, let's get into it. You guys just went ahead and traded for Justin Fields. Pittsburgh Steelers acquiring over the weekend quarterback Justin Fields from the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Immediately after the trade went down, I mean, like literally like 2 hours after the trade went down, we found out, is it a competition between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields? No. One source texted, Russ is the starter.
Right.
Why would you do this in March?
I don't know who is that said that.
Tom Pelissero, NFL Network.
Did they give it to him? Who gave
He
it?
works at NFL Network. Somebody inside the Pittsburgh Steelers organization gave it to him. Yes.
Okay.
The Steelers gave it to him.
I don't know. I mean, he has to say that because people watch the NFL Network.
Why does he have to say that?
Because Russ is watching.
Exactly.
He said it for Russ and his agent.
Maybe so, but that's a problem.
Why?
Because you have to tell, because Russell Wilson's ego is that fragile that, hey, man, we traded for Justin Fields, but you're our guy. Don't worry. You're our guy. We're good.
He may leave.
He can't leave. He's on a contract. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? He's not going. Nobody wants him. I mean, Russ is lucky to find his way to Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
But he decides to. So if that was the case, they wouldn't worry about his ego. But they are worrying about his ego.
They could cut him before the end of training camp.
They could do that, yes. But then that would be really interesting because, well, why not just get Justin Fields first then? Why even get Russell? Why even enter into the drama of Russell Wilson's ego if that was the case?
I don't know. Combined, they're paying them both less than the Patriots are paying Jacoby Brissett.
Sure. No. I mean, on a contractual
financially
basis,
it makes sense.
Sure. Drama-wise, it does not. I have no idea what Pittsburgh's
I
doing.
don't think there's that much drama.
I do. You just told me in March they had to worry about Russell Wilson's ego to tell him he's the starter. It makes no sense to declare a starter in March.
I don't know who said that. That's
inside
that's
the organization. Tom Pelissero is not putting that out there unless somebody high up in the
really
Steelers
because we haven't had reporters from league networks put out fake stuff.
You think that's fake? I don't think that's fake at all.
I don't think it's fake, but I mean it's fed to them.
Well, it's fed to them. But
we've had Woj put up stuff about betting stuff about who's getting drafted first.
Well, that's a different story.
You
but
say whatever you want.
This isn't. You just admitted this isn't the ego thing. The Russell Wilson's ego had to be placated in March for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Somebody said, tell that guy Pelissero to put it out that he's the starter. Who cares?
Well, they care. They wouldn't have done. Otherwise, they would have said, we'll get to training camp and find out who the starter is. If they didn't care, they would just say, we have two quarterbacks.
You have
we'll find
to
out
those stories out. It's all BS.
Why do you have to? I'm confused. Why do you have to do that? You don't have to do anything.
Perception. In
For
case
who?
Russ is watching.
He is watching. That's the point. He is watching. That's my point. You've entered. That's why trading for Justin Fields to me makes no sense. Because
it makes all the sense in the world because
you've
got
created
a guy who you don't know what you're getting.
What do you mean?
You don't know what you're getting.
With who?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you do.
What
Look
do
at the
you
film.
know?
You know what you're getting. Look at the film.
What are you talking about?
We know who we're getting. Russell Wilson is right now a guy on the 18th green. You're hoping to squeeze a little bit out of him to hopefully be there. But you trade for Justin Fields because you think you may have to go ahead and play somebody else. And Russell Wilson may not be the guy. So you go get a guy who started in the NFL.
So isn't that smart?
No, I think the smarter thing would have been to keep Kenny Pickett. The smarter thing, because you bring in Russ and then you figure out how you develop a guy who's already in your system and you're bringing in Justin Fields, which creates drama.
Nobody in the building believed in him.
Maybe so. And that's 100% possible. But then they believe in Justin Fields more than Kenny Pickett? Like, really? Okay. That's a little scary to me, unless you're going to use him as a gadget guy and you're going to have him be running the ball.
Make a mistake in a draft like this with the quarterback,
right?
You move on from it. Obviously, that wasn't going to mesh.
So who made the mistake? The Bears or the Bears were drafting Fields or the Steelers betting Pickett? So I think, the Steelers clearly say they made a mistake with Kenny Pickett because they shipped him out for nothing.
Yeah.
And the Bears said they made a mistake and they're going to draft a quarterback coming up and they shipped him out for nothing. And the deal incentivizes Pittsburgh not to play Justin Fields because he plays 52% of the snaps. That goes to a 4th round pick versus a 6th round pick. So that's a mistake by the Bears, in my opinion, doing that. I just can't believe that they openly and willingly decided to make Justin Fields the most popular person in all of Pittsburgh. 2 losses, talk radio is going to go ballistic for Justin Fields.
I mean, it already is. Who cares? Talk radio doesn't pay the bills. We need
talk
a backup
your fan base does. Your
and
fan
we
base
need a
does.
guy who can physically do the job, maybe better than the guy we just signed. So what?
I don't know. I mean, I think this whole thing is so wild to me because I don't understand why the Eagles didn't trade for Justin Fields. I can't figure out why Philadelphia
didn't think that Justin Fields is a guy.
It makes more sense in their offense. In their offense, Justin Fields makes way more sense than Kenny Pickett does. I don't get
Eagles offense
100%. Having Justin Fields run the offense that Jalen Hurts runs makes way more sense than Kenny Pickett coming in and running an offense that he can't do what Jalen Hurts does. I don't understand what's going on in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. What?
He's coming in to be the backup.
Right, but so is Justin Fields in Pittsburgh. He would be a backup in Philly. It's the same situation. I don't get why you wouldn't put Justin Fields behind Jalen Hurts.
Because they have different talent evaluators that are looking through everything with their own glasses.
Maybe so, but Kenny Pickett, to me,
just because Belichick thinks somebody's a good player doesn't mean that the guys in Pittsburgh think he's a good player. That's why you have different people signing with different places.
Of course, I can't wait to watch this play out because I don't get what Philly did with this move. Justin Fields would have been a much better addition. I think Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett is personally, and so. I think Pittsburgh got the better player, and Kenny Pickett going to back up Jalen Hurts. You better hope to hell Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt, but he gets hurt. So Jalen being missing 2, 3, 4 games a year is almost a given just because of the way he plays. So you have a guy who come in, who can play the position, who can be competent, run the offense. And now you have Kenny Pickett coming in and he can't run the offense that Jalen Hurts runs.
Nate S. just came in the chat and said local reporters are saying the Bears had better offers from 4 other teams, but chose Pittsburgh because Fields wanted it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a huge. That's a talk radio today in Chicago was irate at the Bears for doing right by Justin Fields. They're saying, why the hell would you send him to a good spot? Take the best offer. And they didn't. The Bears wanted to do right by Justin Fields. They felt some obligation. The family felt some obligation to go ahead and do right by the kid. I think it's admirable what the Bears did, but Bears media is not happy about it at all.
What are Bears media happy about, period?
Well,
happy in years.
True. They have the first pick. The GM decided that he didn't draft Justin Fields. He inherited him. And, he told him last year it was your team. And then, felt bad, felt like he lied to him. And so he went to him and said, hey, I know I feel like I lied to you. So where do you want to go? And then see, Fields is the starting quarterback. This is going to be the narrative going on a ton is that, I would have thought that much like the franchises that have the most staying power, the ones that have the most stability with ownership, the coaches that have been there the longest would just say, when we get to camp, we'll figure out who the best quarterback is. We're playing the best guy, rather than having a report come out and say that Russ is the starter in March. Just don't understand it at all.
Again, I don't know. What's said out in public is not always what's said behind closed doors either.
Well, that was supposedly what was said to Russ directly. The report, the full report is that the Bears with the Pittsburgh Steelers within 2 hours of drafting with the Bears for Fields called Russell Wilson and told him you're the starter. They called him directly and said, you're the starter. Don't worry about it. You're good. You're the starter.
Right.
Because he went there signing, said, I'm the starter, right? And they told him, yes, you're the starter. Yeah. So then they went after Justin Fields.
They always tell you that stuff when you sign, when you sign to get you to sign.
Absolutely. Which, do they know who they're dealing with? That's all I got to say. Russell Wilson is the biggest me guy in the NFL. And it's going to be
very interesting. It's that I don't think he, I hope he makes it through the season if he's the starter.
Healthy or performance?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I don't know. The good thing is the Steelers really haven't. When's the last time they tanked? 1989?
Well, I mean, never once with Tomlin.
Yeah.
Do you think they're tanking?
No.
Oh.
No. So they're going to try to win. So he knows that. If you're not playing up to, it's a meritocracy. If he ain't playing and he ain't earning it, he's not playing. Get a guy that's ready to play.
Drama.
I don't see it as drama. I see it as alternative plans. You just like in the book, you got to have multiple outs. They have multiple outs now. So
drama in the locker room.
I honestly don't think it's drama.
Russell Wilson's a drama queen. It's what he does. This is like going back to the Antonio Brown days. Like this is drama. Like you're gonna have a guy all over social
found out
media.
A lot about the drama that was going on after it went on.
True, very true. And how they kept that boat afloat was impressive, given what Antonio Brown was doing.
Oh my god!
But I mean, Trubisky was told he was going to be the starter too. I don't know, but
yeah,
that is the best line. Joe the Fat Panda. That I agree with entirely. The drama can be removed at a relatively low cost.
Yeah,
that is absolutely true.
That's
yes,
great.
They can move off of him very quickly if they have to move off of him. It's less than $1 million. It's just snip, goodbye, and it's all good.
Snip,
yep, cut, goodbye. See you later. We're all good. Okay, to the NBA. The Clippers lost again, 4 or 5
Atlanta
by double digits at home to Atlanta.
Smoked.
Do you agree with the sentiment that the Clippers are dead? That everyone that was saying, "Here come the Clippers," our boy Tommy the Lip was all in on him, saying, "Clippers."
We gotta put out an APB for Tommy the Lip.
I
haven't gotten a text from Tommy the Lip in a while.
Social media, Clippers are dead. It is sad that they in March they say we need an identity. That's not good.
I don't know. That's a bad loss. It's just said 4 or 5, and they're not even good teams. I don't know. Still trying to find out who the best team is. Second best team in the West.
Agreed.
Because I know who the best team is.
Agreed.
Denver's the best team in the West.
Agreed.
That was a great game yesterday with them in Dallas.
Left-handed hook shot by Kyrie.
Pretty sweet. I love the left hand.
Horse shot. That was a horse shot. That was just him fooling around. They were tied. If they were down, I would have said, "What the hell was that?" But it was tied. So it was a free shot. Like, let's just try to hit a prayer. He hit a left-handed running hook and he hit it like
left-handed running hook.
And I mean, the best reaction was looking at Luka's face. Luka was like, "What the? Oh my God, you hit it!" Like he couldn't believe that he was like leaning with a left hand, throwing it up, and he was like, "You did not just show you hit that. Whoa!" So that was
good. We'll see about the Clippers here.
I agree. Without Russ, they've been struggling big time.
Yeah. They're not all there. I can't stand the quick, like, oh, well, they're done. Well, they're not whole. They're not whole. I don't know if they're done. Like, nothing's done. I mean, they're still talking about all these shows about the Lakers being good, making a run.
We'll get to them in a second. How low is this market going to go for Philly and Miami tonight? Open at 212.5, down to 209. What is it live?
208.
208. Where's the basement of this game?
I don't know. These models and Euro guys are moving numbers now very different than there used to be somebody to take the other side. I don't know. If we're sitting in a book right now. Let's go to 206 and see if we can get an overbet.
These are dead under teams. 8 of the last 10 for Miami, 7 of the last 10 for Philadelphia. The last Miami is 26-9 to the under on the road this year.
Oh my goodness.
26-9 to the under on the road.
Wow.
They don't score.
Let's move it to 206 and see what they do. Let's go. I mean, Philly's favored.
Yes.
2, 1.5. What?
Yes.
I don't know. T-Rash games today. There's some
the last 5 games.
Rash
games. The last 5 games for Philadelphia. The last 6 games for Miami. All under. The lowest total for those teams, though, 209.5 yesterday against Charlotte. 2 days ago against Charlotte for Philly. Game went under by 2.5 points. 214 for the Heat last game was yesterday, 214. It went under by 9 points.
Put this in the chat. Let the people decide. Give them another poll to vote on because they
86%.
Nobody would expand. 85% to 15%. And the 15% of you that said you would expand it, you're full of caca. That's you wouldn't expand it. I mean, unless you were getting paid. It's the only people that want to expand it is the ones that want to get paid.
Fair.
Who's winning? Heat, Sixers. This is. I mean, you have to vote, even if you don't have a strong opinion.
You have to vote. You're required.
Well, isn't the NBA a huge letdown today? Like
yes.
after we had the meaningful basketball games.
Yes.
Like, how am I going to settle in front of the TV and watch Cleveland and Indiana today? Like, oh, let's really dial it up for Portland and Chicago. Nothing personal. Memphis and Sacramento late. The Knicks are playing Golden State. It's nothing but shit. And there's only 2 hockey games.
That's the problem. NHL missed a big op here. NHL should have gone heavy.
NHL had a pretty big weekend.
It did, but they should have gone heavy. Boston's laying 15.5 to the Pistons. The last time Boston played the Pistons at home, it was a 17.5 point number. They won by 6.
Yeah.
15.5. It was 17.5 last night.
Got to get the dog money.
I would not lay it with Boston.
Coming on the Pistons today.
Yeah, I would not lay it with Boston tonight. I would bet the Pistons. If I was going to bet this game, it's dog or pass.
Yeah.
The way Boston plays in the fourth quarter, no way.
222.5.
Yep.
Under the?
Weird. Both teams are dead overs. I'm on the over, and I have a worse number. I don't understand the move personally.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Pistons score? What's the Pistons team total here?
Pistons team total for the game?
Yeah.
Let's see. Team total for the game for the Pistons is
104.5.
Let's see. Pistons team total is 103.5.
Damn it!
Close.
Oh, it was so close. 1 point off. I don't know. That's pretty good. Yeah, probably dog. I don't know. It's a stop sign.
It is a stop
Leave
sign.
me alone.
Yeah,
I don't want to bet this game.
And then one more. Atlanta just beat the Clippers. Now they're 9-point dogs to the Lakers.
Back to back.
But 9? Lakers favored by 9?
Back to back. Yeah.
Doesn't seem heavy to you?
Oh, Cade is out. Is questionable due to rest. Thanks, LL.
Is he, according to Butchie, he's out. Questionable.
Butchie,
he's out.
Well, if Butchie says he's out, he's out.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Butchie gets the good injury information. So he's probably not playing. That's why. Okay.
You would be afraid of laying 16. It's coming
First
down.
half
Though.
team total Celtics.
Hold on.
Half.
Dave, you're jumping ahead, and you missed it yesterday.
Wow.
He bet it yesterday, missed it yesterday. But yes.
I don't want nothing to do with this game either.
No, I want nothing to do with this. Only thing I'd bet is the under. If I had to bet it, I'd bet under. That's it.
Hawks.
Yeah, I want absolutely nothing. Zero, zip, none to do with
Everyone
Atlanta.
knows how I feel about the Lakers. I did it for years.
Yeah,
even the year they won in the bubble.
Oh,
we won money.
Fraudulent championship. Time for Better to Book It. Speaking of the Boston Celtics, I have the worst number on the planet, but I don't care. I'm betting the over in these two teams. If Boston scores an average game for them at home, and if the Pistons score just an average game for them on the road, this game's going over. Blowout potential, yes. Garbage time, over.
Competitive game, this thing goes under.
If Boston's competitive without Cade on the floor, there's a real fucking big problem here. Boston should not be competitive. If Cade's out, this should be a double-digit win. It's just a matter of how many points will they win by.
Is everybody playing for Boston?
Well, Porzingis probably is not, right?
That's fine.
KP's
Yeah.
out. KP's probably out, but
I'd say bet this.
how do you handle? I'll ask you this question too. The Celtics are, I think there's 14 games left now for them. They have a 9-game lead on the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
When do they start resting players?
As soon as they clinch it.
Well, they've already clinched the playoff spot. They haven't clinched
No,
the
as soon as they clinch the number 1 seed. They got a 9-game lead on it, right?
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be
as soon
soon.
as they lock it up with, when they get 9 games left,
It's early next week.
throw my hands up in the book. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't even put up a Celtics number. Like, what's the purpose?
Right.
How do you even how do you book those games? As soon as they stop playing, Tatum and Brown are listed as questionable.
Yeah. But it's okay because if they don't play, they actually play faster when they're out.
Right.
So Derek White pushes tempo a lot more. He becomes the focal point of the offense, and they look to run a lot more. They had a guy who Hauser, right? The dude had 10 threes last night for Boston. Like something
There's
stupid.
A vote going on right now for the Heat and the Sixers game.
Favor in Miami, 61%. Celtics team total over 59.5. Yes, you guys are asking. Yes, I bet this.
That's got to be a bet.
Yeah, this is.
How don't they get this?
It didn't hit yesterday, but I think it does hit today. Boston's averaging a ton of points at home. So, I mean, it's 122.5 points per game at home for Boston.
They didn't get 60 points in the first half yesterday?
No, they ended up, what did they end up with yesterday? They ended up with 53 yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry. I'm sorry. No, that's not true. No, it did hit yesterday. Dave, what do you mean? Dave told me it didn't hit yesterday. It did hit yesterday.
It flew over.
Yeah, they scored 45 points in the first quarter yesterday.
And 36 in the second.
Yeah, that game flew over the number yesterday. But this game's at home.
81 points in the first half.
Yeah. I thought Dave wrote me a note to the it was. Yeah, that's what I thought. Dave, didn't you text me and didn't you DM me and say it missed yesterday?
Not you're talking to the other Dave. Don't keep saying Dave.
No, Dave's Daily Picks. He sent me. He sent me. I thought he sent me a DM and said this didn't hit. And I said, "Oh,
check on this guy sometimes."
I was doing like 15 things. I wasn't even paying attention. I got a DM from him saying like, "I totally should not have bet the." He said something like, "Shouldn't have bet it," or "I did bet it." I don't know. He said it didn't hit, and it did hit. It flew over first quarter.
He said, "I told you it hit." Pete Rolt was not right yesterday. After he hurt his back.
Yeah, I was not.
I'm not defending him. Sometimes he reads stuff. Sometimes I tell him stuff, and then he asks me like 100%. A day later, "Did you tell me this?" Like, yes, we talked about it for 15 minutes.
Well, that's you're the king of that. So that's par for the course with the two of us. Under 211, Philly, Miami.
Yeah, bet.
Okay.
Bet. Yeah.
So PSU Auto, tip of the cap. Your research led me to this. Your stats. The Seattle Kraken are 9-0 over their last 9 games to a first period under. Under 1.5 goals. Buffalo, Seattle tonight.
Ooh.
Is Levy playing? Because they called up the rookie who might be playing tonight. This is why it was 105 last night. It was so cheap because it should have been way more expensive. But I think Levy's playing.
I honestly didn't even look at the hockey.
Let me see. No, it's Luukkonen. Beautiful. Decord and Luukkonen. Beautiful. Love that.
Look, there's the wrench. Sonic just said it in the chat. Sometimes we as the brigade just make shit up to mess with you two. Thank you, Sonic. Damn it. We ain't got time to be messing around.
Amen to that.
Live shows this weekend.
Yes.
Sonic, you coming up? Take the plane. Shoot up here.
Ooh.
At the airport. Sonic can fly planes.
Under 1.5 goals. Buffalo, Seattle. First period.
This sounds like a good bet. I'd say bet it. This does sound like a good bet.
Under 5.5. Buffalo, Seattle.
Buffalo's got a shot to make the playoffs.
5-0 Seattle to the under over their last 5 games. 4-1 Seattle to the under over their last 5 games. These teams are
like this. You haven't bet hockey in like a week.
Because I hadn't had to. again, this is following
Missed some
Otto's
money over the weekend. The Rangers were minus 140 at Pittsburgh. Then they were minus 165 or 170 yesterday against the Islanders. Rangers. You got a full slate tomorrow. You better get back on the hockey bandwagon tomorrow.
It's almost playoff time. We're good. I only have one future wager. I got to start looking at some more futures.
Yeah, 5.5 flat. Oh yeah. You like under, huh?
Mm-hmm. These are under games, under teams.
What do you think if you put up a poll quick in this one? Did the hockey guys vote this? The hockey guys will vote this. I think we get more overs. You used to say the 5.5 number scared you.
It does until I see the numbers of two teams who are dead unders over the last 5 games.
JC from Pete Roll's picks suck.
Yeah, yesterday they did.
Really? No good?
Oh, no good. That total for that Florida game crushed me. That was when that kid went out.
Can't control that though.
Fell 153. I bet over 155.
Right?
Sucked. I mean, they went 1 for 18 from behind the arc. If Florida hits one more 3, game goes over.
You can't control that one. Like I saw that one of the things. It's so unfortunate when a kid like that has
Breaks
that
his
injury
leg.
because it's bad. But like, you go, man, I did all the work and the whole handicap's out the window.
Choo, goodbye.
Can't control that.
Nope.
Yeah,
but that's that's sport. That's betting. Is what it is.
I'd say book this one. I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm not as keen about. I like that first period play better than the total for the game.
Fair. There are no super chats today. So favorite thing about today is what? We can do the whole show on Sports Good today.
Let's get it done, sir. Favorite thing about today is that I had to pick up the kids and Jessica last night at the airport. They had a smooth flight home.
Good.
This chaos is back in the house. I almost came in bundled up today in a big heavy jacket because the first thing she did was walk in and hit the thermostat.
Damn.
And froze everybody out. I was shivering this morning.
Wow.
When I woke up, I was like, wow, she definitely touched the air. So it's like your workplace. Did you ever work at a place where they battled back and forth with the air?
Yep.
They actually had to put a lock around the thermostat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm considering that at some point because it's freezing. You've been to this house and it's freezing in here. It was so cold this morning.
For me, my favorite thing about today is that this is the greatest thing we do as a country as sports. The NCAA tournament takes 3 weeks to complete. It involves minor markets, major markets, small college towns in major cities, schools with massive budgets and schools you never heard of. It takes kids that right now are unknown and in 2 weeks will be household names. It creates coaches who can have a life-changing 4-game stretch where for just 2 weeks, they become millionaires and they may never be millionaires again, but their team literally becomes a lottery ticket and it gets them huge jobs that maybe they only get for 4 or 5 more years and they get fired, but they signed a $20 million contract to go ahead and do it. Lives get changed so quickly, and I cannot wait to get going with this tomorrow. I love Dayton is an awesome community. They support the play-ins more than any other market. It's much like Omaha does with the College World Series. Dayton loves the first 4. I wouldn't kill it simply because I think UD Arena is a cool place and they love it. They go there, they buy the tickets, they support, and they give these kids a chance to play, maybe not fully in the tournament, but in a tournament game enough where they're playing in an arena full of some of their fans, but sometimes fans that adopt whoever they want to go in. There'll be Howard fans in Dayton who never watched a Howard game in their life, but they want to watch a Howard game coming up. So I love the NCAA tournament. The NFL playoffs are awesome. Super Bowl is great. I've now been to 3 different weeks of Super Bowl, so I have a pretty good grasp of saying that it doesn't touch the NCAA tournament. The electricity, the energy, the excitement when you walk in to a arena with 8-4-2, whatever teams are playing, it feels just incredible. And I absolutely am so excited to get to Thursday and Friday to get to our live shows at Resorts World. Hopefully you guys will be there with us coming up on Thursday. There is no
boys.
There's no bonus time, but real quick, text 702-570-8255 if you want to hook up a hat. Dave will answer and get you set up for that. Coming up quick, Thursday, Friday, live shows. Sirius XM and Sports Grid. You guys get the same thing as X and YouTube. Thank you for being here. Dave, Matt, back tomorrow for a Tuesday's BVP.